Hello, everybody. My name is Pisa Kitade, and I will be your host for today. I just wanted to say it's wonderful to be here. Tonight is going to be a day of nostalgia because we have past members of the VoT that will be sharing their poems. Aaron and Eder will be sharing their poems today. Jada can't be with us today because of a personal emergency, but we are sending all of our love to them. But first, we need to do some land acknowledgement because of it's super important. So Voices of Today traditionally has taken place in what's commonly known as Toronto, traditionally the Huron-Wendat, Poton, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe territories, as well as the Treaty Territory, specifically the Dish in One Spoon Wampum Belt Convent between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe territories and the Toronto Purchase Treaty 13. As we move online, Voices of Today looks to amplify the voice of original caretakers of the land across the block. It is our goal to honor and offer education to everyone over the 10,000 years of Indigenous cultures and history that exist worldwide. We recognize the majority of our current organizers live across Turtle Lake, which is what the Lenni Lenape and the Iroquois people traditionally have called North America. As a festival, we acknowledge the reconciliation takes ongoing efforts from non-Indigenous people. We ask all non-Indigenous attendees to continuously learn about the history of land and its people from where they live and occupy, as well as to treat the land with respect the best way they know how. I know that I am an immigrant in Canada and I benefit from all the freedom, all the success that I have from them. So I really want to take this time to just acknowledge the land that I'm in right now. I'm in Saskatoon, which is Treaty 6. So today also, 50% of the ticket sales will be going to Black Women in Motion. A link will be sent in the chats. And talking about chats, you can talk in our Discord. The link will also be in the chat, and I will be doing comments from there. So make sure to like comment in because I want to know your ideas, whatever that's going in your mind while you listen to these wonderful poems. I do want to mention that hate speech will not be tolerated. And that some of the poems have sensitive topics. So if you do need to talk to someone, we have some people in the Discord that can help you in any way. Rabbit Richards is around if anyone feels unsafe at festival at any point. You can message Rabbit on the Discord or move off the Discord to texting if that's comfortable. You can still buy a ticket on our website, and all the money will be going to the Black Woman in Motion today. So, okay, let's start the showcase. I'm actually really excited. Again, this is about nostalgia. And all of them are past VOT members and they have all competed and now they're coming back to showcase what they have learned. So, first off, we have Heather. Heather Curry Reid is a 28-year-old Toronto based poet. They identify as a mad, queer, non binary, femme, and fat. Writing has been a constant in their life, utilizing it as a means to heal and tell difficult stories. They have always thought of literature as a gateway into others' lives, a path to understanding and empathy for experiences different from one's own. They believe poetry should be a magical and transformative experience. They hope to elevate both the ugliness and beauty of finding one's resilience. Heather has been performing for several years now and is working on being published in the future. They are currently a student at York University in concurrent education in English literature. They like to spend their off time relaxing with friends and cats and can usually be found where the books and wine live. So take time to help out and see Heather.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be part of this. Voices of Today is my absolute favorite festival, and I've been a in and around the festival for the last couple of years, and it was so touching that I was picked to perform. So I'm super excited about it. Um, I do want to just like jump right in, but before I do, I want to start with some content warnings. Just because, like, even though nothing is explicit or graphic in my work, I do talk about some heavier topics, and I don't want to hurt or harm anyone in this process. So, um, yeah, I'm just gonna go over some quick things that you might want to look out for to take care of yourself. So, like the first poem has to do with drinking with friends, so there will be mentions of alcohol. Um, and then, of course, I don't know if you've noticed, but I am a fat person, so therefore I talk about fat phobia sometimes, and lots and lots of mental illness, lots and lots of crappy people in my life who are like controlling and manipulative. Um, and sometimes suicide comes up. I think there's only one poem that comes up in. Again, not super explicit or anything. And then, of course, life is hard and I have trauma. So trauma comes up near the end. Again, not super explicitly, but it is very intense. Um, so, yeah, but don't worry, end on a good note. It'll be fun. My first poem that I'm going to read to you all is called Fill Me Up Sweetness. And it's just about drinking with friends. And which is not something I've done since pre-COVID, but it'll be fun when it happens again. Here we go. Fill me up, sweetness. Weighted glass filled with poison or antidote. You choose. To relinquish your memory to a fine elixir with a rush of adrenaline, every touch is magnetic in this haze. The corners of our eyes blur our vision and reality. Laughter spills from my lips into your soul. Fill me up, sweetness, as the heavy weighted bottom hits the table once more. I feel light, magnificent, warm, indulgent. I'm watching the splashing auburn liquid into the glass, waiting patiently as all of the fear disappears from our bodies. Hypnotic harmonies ring out, and we dance with my ghosts and your ghouls. Under bright moonlight, intimacy blooms through the words of the heart spoken at the decibel of the proudest lions. Or maybe hyenas. My jaw is coming undone, my tears filling my eyes, laughter swallows me whole. It's so wide, it consumes you too. We fall to a place that is tender again, sipping on amber that makes our skin glow. You're safe with me, so show me all your darkest secrets. I have some darkness too beneath this glow. I can share it with you if you want me to. Stillness between slurred words, stillness between beating hearts. We could fill an ocean with our joy and the Milky Way with our pain. I could hold all of your confidences in my palm if you let me. The heavy glass hits the table once again. Fill me up, sweetness. So yeah, that's that poem. The next poem is about people trying to control you and make you do the things and fit into boxes. It's not great, and it's a little sometimes fat phobic. Yeah, so this is called Chewy. I was thick honey and berries, sweet and juicy, but you wanted a salty crunch. So I became seeds, full of potential. You broke my shell and chewed me raw, spitting out the parts of me you couldn't digest. Like a turtleneck in the dryer, I've been shrinking myself. Unconsciously, I've made myself into something that doesn't quite fit. You wanted more room to breathe, space for you to chew without choking. My aspirations were abstract constellations, idealistic and romantic. You insisted that I dream closer to the ground, like roots of a tree, grounded and practical. So my desires grew like a redwood, wide and reaching for the clouds. In my gut, I could feel you cutting my ambitions in half with hungry, disapproving knives. I'm trying to make myself small for you. I sit out in the sun hoping to shrivel up like I could go from plump to sun-dried tomato. Maybe if you sucked all my kindness out like unwanted moisture, I could be something more appealing to your palate. Somehow I'm always too much and not enough at the same time, ballooning and dwindling. So often I strive to appease you, stretching myself out and crushing myself down. Soon there will be nothing left of me for you to consume. Yeah, that's that poem. I'm gonna read an old poem that I haven't read, like I haven't performed in a couple of years, but I felt like it needed to come back. So I had like a period of like really stable happiness in like 2017 or something like that, and it was weird because I never felt that before, and like at least not in a very long time. And this poem came out of that feeling, and it's called "This Foreign Feeling." Happiness is so foreign to me. It's uncharted and unfamiliar territory. I feel scared to be happy. See, happiness never came easily for me. It was always fleeting, always escaping through my fingers. I knew it was something I should want, but I never knew it was something that lasted. I thought happiness was the occasional steady breath between anxiety attacks, the moments of calm before the intrusive thoughts began, or the moments when I was able to get out of bed. Happiness for me was being okay. And when you've been depressed for more than half your life, you forget how happiness felt. There's so much anguish and anxiety. There's so much heart racing, blood boiling, handshaking, shallow breathing, uncontrollable, negative emotion that happiness, happiness is just the moments in between. That carefree happiness that everyone talked about was only found in my childhood innocence, the world before I knew the world. Happiness was always a choice I could never make. No matter how hard I tried to choose to be happy, I'd always slip back down to those cozy demons. See, those demons are where I felt comfortable. I knew how things worked and what was going to go down. But happiness is blinding to my eyes. Eyes so adjusted to darkness. Happiness is the illusion of danger that the thrill seeker desires. Happiness is unknown heights and swaying between mountains. Happiness, oh, happiness, you are terrifying, even though I know deep down inside I am safe. Happiness in my life, I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, for someone to pull back the curtain and expose the truth. I keep waiting for happiness to be a clever lie I told myself, something I thought up, a story I told myself to cope with something so much worse. This happiness or joy or euphoria is not something that I get to keep. No, it feels like something stolen away that one day I'll get caught and I'll have to turn it over. Happiness isn't something I would ever get to hold on to. Happiness is strange. It's surreal and unfathomable. It shakes me to feel such happiness, but shaken is how I am now. Okay, so this next poem that I'm going to read um, is a little like, it's a little different. It's not like traditional like spoken word poem or anything. It kind of looks weird on the page, so it doesn't read really interestingly, but it's got like a really cool rhythm to it when I read it out loud. So it's called Fragments That Make Me Feel Whole. Love loss, love laughter, love life. Hearts beat unsteadily, untimely, undoing me, redoing me. Hearts beat always, hearts beat when love is near. Breathing is unconscious, conscious of my breathing when you are near. In, hold out, in, choke out, cough, cough, cough up, love and cigarettes, smoke clouds, and smoking is dangerous. Love is dangerous, like chest poison, like chest flowers. Bloom, bloom, poison me with nectar so sweet it tastes like ever after. After life, after love, after laughter. Swelling laughter like balloons, high pitched helium induced laughter fills my room. Love fills my room, my stage, my classroom. Love sticks to me like smoke sticks to my clothes, stuck in love, gooey caught between my fingers, sloppy between tongues. I'm in between love, caught, caged, freed by love. Didn't say I wanted to leave anyway. Love left anyway. And I feel, I feel heavy, light. Freedom from what I never wanted to lose, weighed down by loss. No helium left here. Inhale, exhale, hyperventilate, lost my heart, my mind all at once at the same time. Tick tock, circular thinking, circles of love, unending endings. Endings start somewhere here where loss is. Here, loss. Here, love. Here, life. Location of life, map of loss, compass of light, warm and bright. You are healing. Your heat heals broken muscles, broken hearts. Here with you, hope is found in fallen petals. Hope found between small smiles and kind words. Hope here with you, your with your warmth, with your hope. I found strength to grow, no bloom. I can be bright like you, warm like you, kind like you. I want to love, live, blossom without poison, without thorns, without hardness. Soft love return to me. Soft love surround me. Soft love consume me. Laughter returns with soft love. Inhale, exhale, laughter, life, found life in living in love. Thank you. That's that one. I don't know. I love it. It's just so much fun to read. This next one I wrote for a friend. Her name is Amy. She's amazing. Um, and it's called Blame It on the Stars because we are really into astrology lately. So I'm a Libra sun, um, Aries moon, and a Leo rising. So do with that what you will. This is Blame It on the Stars. Stars and planets swirl together, the constellations of our minds constantly screaming and dreaming. You wake with a shudder at a day that you wish you never came to see. Blame it on the stars for hiding in the daylight but maddening us at night with intangible, abstract musings. The universe is vast and infinite, and we are not. You read the stories created by the constellations, destruction and death, and renewal and rebirth. Like the phoenix, you will burn everything down to ash and dust just for the chance to start over. What strength you have to burn out so bright. Like the stars, we swear influence our lives, yet we are always making the hard choice. The choice to be reborn and become something beautiful, even if we are not infinite. Yeah, I like that. It's time for some angry poems. I had a thing happen a couple months ago and it made me very angry. It was the ending of a relationship. But yes, so I wrote a couple of angry poems and I included two of them here. This first one's called In Bloom. Press down against the skin, break the surface with your nails, pull back to reveal the raw fruit. Keep peeling the skin away from the flesh, one long strip of orange, and my juicy core exposed. I was bright, I was blooming, I was balanced until you picked me for your meal. Vulnerable to teeth that may tear me apart, juices of who I am spray from your mouth. Succulent, you think, as I cry in pain. Salivate. Your spit breaks me down with cruel intentions. Chew, gnawing against the veins of who I am. Swallow all of my hopefulness into the acid of your stomach. You swear you were just hungry and you had no harmful intent. But discarded peels you left to rot is all you left of me. No longer can I be beautiful, juicy, or even raw. But you smirk with satisfaction while wiping your lips. I hope you swallowed my seeds whole, so I can take root somewhere in your darkness, anchor myself, anchor me to the lining in your stomach and feel me gestate within you, grow against all odds in the slime of your core. My branches will puncture your esophagus. My roots will stretch through your intestines. I will unfurl around your heart and I will spread and spread. One day you will wake up choking on my leaves, pushing their way through your throat, and from your mouth I will blossom, bright, plump, beautiful orange. Damn straight. um, yeah, don't fuck with me. So this next one again, still angry. It's called "You're Not Dead." Um, And it had feelings. You're not dead, but I'm grieving you anyway. Sorry, the wind is blowing my curtain everywhere. I'll start over. You're not dead, but I'm grieving you anyway. Like a sucking black hole on the edge of the galaxy, you pulled everything apart with vicious gravity. You're not dead, but I've written you 1,000 eulogies. The words were angry, like blue and white hot stars. The words were heartbreakingly beautiful, like the soft brushstrokes of starry night. You're not dead, but I've buried you 6 feet under the ground. You might as well be light years away, surrounded by gas and dust and burning out bright. You're not dead, but I'm haunted by your ghostly words. The way you connected all my fears together in neat clusters of words, you created constellations of pain. You're not dead, but you're fading from memory. Eventually, you will collapse into yourself, disappearing from my universe forever. You're not dead, but I'm living on without you. Yeah, I was angry. So this next one is one of my trauma poems. It's kind of like the realization that my trauma has completely shaped who I am and like all my behaviors and like the way that I think, um, which was a really hard realization to come to. But I wrote this poem to kind of cope with that. It's called The Map. My scars are a map sketched in invisible ink. When I tell you my story, it lights up the geography across my body. I can find the point where I lost my ability to trust, and I can see the statue that taught me love is pain. I can see how and where I learned to fawn. Driveways labeled scared to disappoint, connected to buildings with addresses like be everything he wants and maybe he won't hurt you. Parks named after people I became instead of myself. Cemeteries filled with people I could have been before all this scarring. Unsteady suspension bridges built over creeks of manipulation. Sometimes they still flood into my life and destroy the homes where my relationships live. I can see the streets where I played with self destructive coping mechanisms, where I lost the meaning of care and hope and found myself hardened. In some spaces, the ink is smudged. I can't see through the blurriness. Sometimes I get lost in these dark, nameless alleyways of my mind where safety is threatened and danger feels imminent. Most times, though, I can follow my map to keep myself from getting hurt. I have highways of routine that and I speed through the pains of my city. I'm in the express lane though, and I can't get off at exit mark says healthy relationships or happiness without hitting a wall. So I drive on endlessly, hoping for an off ramp to something better than this scarred body. But this map of my tragedy has shaped my whole being. Behaviors, thoughts, and feelings all exist inside of me as landmarks. And then this next one is a little bit older, but again, it has to do with trauma. And it's pretty good. I like it at least. It's called You're Still Here. I sat on a beach somewhere far away. I felt the sand between my toes. I held happiness in my hands as the ocean washed away my pain. I have been sitting on trains. I've been going to new places. I felt the pressure ease off my shoulders as this machine took me away. I saw giant castles and city lights. I witnessed the wonder of the world, and I feel like I'm somehow whole again as I take in the view from way up high. But everywhere I go, my steps are still haunted. Even when I reach inside myself and I find healing and love, I know I'll never really get away. Because you're still here with me in hallways and on boardwalks. You're still here with me like a cloud in my mind. You're still here. I can't shake you like a shadow. I can't untether me from you. You're still here. I can't disconnect from you because you have become a part of me. So I fly around the world trying to leave you behind. I speed down highways and climb up mountains. I try to become something new in new places, but you're still here. I'm shedding my skin once again, trying desperately to shed you from me. You're not in my skin, you're weaved somewhere deeper. So I walk as a skeleton through the streets, and you're still here. 10 years has gone by, and you've been picking away at me. Piece by piece, it looks like you are going to win, but I'm still here. I've learned to live with all this trauma inside my bones. I've found healing in my friends. I've felt the pure bliss of the waters of Portugal. And so I'm still here. You tried to destroy me, but I made it a story. You may still be in this body somewhere, but so is happiness, love, and resilience. You're still here, but I'm still here too. So I'm going to end on a much happier note. No more trauma. Um, and this poem I wrote says, as a response to a lot of negativity in my life, and I needed something to remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing and to keep pushing through. And it's called Wishes. I wish you lavender dreams. And when you wake, I'll wish you the sweetest honey from sun-kissed bees. Peaceful and gentle, I pray for your soft heart to maintain its tenderness. I will build a honeycomb shield to protect it. Hopeful for your golden jubilation, the moment it all comes together, I hope it lights you up and warms your insides. Incandescent and brilliant, I see your fire growing with every passing day, and with palm leaves, I will stoke the flame. I wish you rose tinted memories that never fade into sepia pessimism, strengthening your future yearnings. Luminous and pensive, I watch your thoughts grow deeper and I witness the spark inside the shine. You stand so strong, but maintain an amber tenderness. I try to warn you of wicked weeds, but despite it all, you grow wild, like the tomatoes in my garden. Plentiful and eager, I admire your whole vibrant being. It makes me want to be more, too. Thank you so much, everyone. I honestly don't know what to say. I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And I hope everyone enjoys the festival and goes to all the events because they all sound amazing. And yeah, so have a great night and keep watching. Take care.
Thank you so much, Heather, for sharing your work. It's absolutely amazing. The Discord is like blowing up with some comments, so I'm going to read some for you. So Jill says, I can't remember which workshop it was where someone gave us the quote prompt, stop breaking yourself into bite-sized pieces, stay whole, let them choke. It really stuck with me, such a powerful concept. I feel that again with your poem. Lots of snaps, lots of heart emojis. We got platonic love is so, so important. And we love some astrology based poetry in this household. Yes, I love astrology too. I can't even say the words. That's how much I love it. I'm actually an Aquarius sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Libra rising. So my life is a mess. I'm the definition of a hot mess. Um, Mo says, You're not dead, but I'm grieving you anyway. Such a powerful line. Thank you, Lo. Thank you for giving it to us. And then all of the snaps, all of the love. Thank you again, Heather, for doing this. It really resonates and makes me want to write again. So the next person that we have is Erin Hunter. Erin Hunter is a youth poet, performer, and artist. She strives in creating a safe space for people through her art and develop her understanding of humanity in the stories of others. Erin hopes to be able to connect to others by sharing her truth, whether that is through poetry, music, or even visual arts. So let us all welcome Erin Hunter.
Hey, so I'm Erin and I'm coming to you virtually from Vancouver. I have a ton of poems for you guys and I'm just going to kind of read through them. There's going to be not too much transition for them unless there's something I need to explain or a content warning. My first poem is called Rose Colored Glasses. 3 years ago, when someone handed me my first pair of rose colored glasses, I wore them proudly. Red surrounded me, I had never felt so vibrant and warm. Suddenly, every red flag was just a flag. Fires welcomed me. Burns started to look a lot like skin because everything was tinted red. My own blood became other people's teardrops. Everything was tinted red. I couldn't tell the difference. I thought everything was my fault and I loved it because no one could hurt me if all I was doing was hurting myself. Dangers became daily routines. I didn't need anything to protect me because everything looked so goddamn pretty. I didn't get to take the glasses off. Person after person, crimson after crimson, I would take bites of the watermelon rind because there was no line to tell me where to stop. Bitter became beautiful because my glasses made everything so red. But then, I don't know when, but one day the watermelon rind showed white and green. Bitter taste swirled as the substance hit my stomach lining. What a rude awakening to the real world. Seeing in Technicolor became so scary. The day I realized my rose-colored glasses were gone, I started trying to keep away anything that could be dangerous. I forgot what normal was. Now everything red stands out and scares me. Hyper aware of lipstick and cherries, I don't know how to stay away. I've started eating the watermelon rind. Red flags are everywhere now because I've started to panic anytime I see a rose. Needless to say, her beauty becomes danger in my mind because I don't know how to love someone who isn't bright crimson all the time. Her blushing startles me. I have become afraid of my own blood. Realized fire wasn't safe to touch, and now I don't know how to see a rose or even the sweetest raspberry without wondering if the sight of it will destroy me. Nothing is my fault anymore unless I let the things I see create a disaster from me. So now every time I see a flag, I want to run away because I never really can tell if it's dangerous anymore. So this next poem is called When I Stopped Knowing You. I wrote it about an old friend of mine, and just that feeling of seeing a person who's no longer in your life and seeing them progress as you progress when you used to do that together. I remember when I stopped knowing you. My heart breaks as the colors of your hair change. When I loved you, nothing was wrong except for everything I couldn't see. It felt like I was the centerpiece in a snow globe on the shelf of a home where walls rattle from chaos downstairs. Snow stirred, but in my world, everything was beautiful. Until I fell and hit the ground. Broke. Shattered. I've tried to glue myself back to pieces for too long. Learned to live as broken remnants from the life I lived before, watched as the water around me evaporated. Once it was gone, that's when I stopped knowing you. You were the helium in my blood, the liquid in my snow globe. You kept everything together, but I don't think anyone noticed how important you were until one day I lost every last bit of what you meant to me. And I can still hear your voice, but I don't remember the sound of it anymore. It hurts me so bad to know that I could have stopped myself from falling. Maybe then you would have never evaporated. The number of lives I could have saved and people I could have stopped from stepping on shards of my broken parts. I promise I never mean to stick into the wrong places. Everything impactful and destructive could have been prevented if I had just said something or opened my eyes a little more, realized what's in store wasn't how the stories are told. A battle for power. I thought we were stage fighting, waiting for the moment I'd get to take the bow for my performance. Little did I know it wasn't fake. I left with a battered face. You told me not to worry. You could never hurt me. It's so much harder and simpler to believe I was the cause. And all of it feels like I should hate you, but I hate myself more. I'm told there are two sides to every story. Ours is a book I want to burn, but the pages are spite-proof. Nothing I do can destroy them. No matter how much I want to forget that your side will forever be written in a language I will never get to learn. I remember when your liquid turned to vapor. After that, I am not sure, but from what I know about water cycles, you condensed, and I'm sure one day it rained. I should have you to thank for that. But But by that time, I had stopped knowing you. So all I could do was dance in your rain, knowing maybe you stopped a drought. This next poem is called I've Lived. I wrote about the feeling that it's often hard for me to feel at home in my house or houses, um, parents. And it's always kind of, I've always felt more at home when I'm out places or when I'm adventuring or, you know, experiencing the world. I wrote this poem last year at Voices, when I was on my way to, I believe it was a workshop, and I just wrote it about the fact that I've lived in places and felt at home in places more than when I stay still, is the best way to describe it. So yeah, I've never moved houses much, but growing up I've lived in more places than I can remember. Lived in best friends' back pockets or in art classes I was failing. Lived in cafes. In each poem I created, lived in late nights getting drunk at 15. Calling my friends to say I've never smoked weed while high off of my ass. In public bathroom stalls where you can't really tell if it's water or pee on the toilet seat. In sweaty palms holding hands walking around the amusement park. I've lived in dark basements and in passing dogs on the streets. In notebooks and sketchbooks and a new pack of pens, I have lived in classrooms I loved and classrooms I hate. But they never really taught me anything other than how to live in them. I have lived in places I would never want to walk past again. In places that feel less like a home and more like an itchy patch on my skin. I have lived in more places than boys I've kissed, or girls, or people. I have kissed more human beings than I think I can remember. I've settled down in places I know I shouldn't. Lived in places I know could kill me, but still did it, and I made it out alive, which I think is the most important bit. I have made a house in the strangers I pass, leaving parts of my gaze in their hair or their outfits, and although I didn't move around much as a kid, didn't travel cities or states to find a place to call home, I know that I have still lived all over. Houses left rotting wood from lack of upkeep. Houses burned down by poisonous personalities. Houses in the back pockets of best friends. I have lived in more places than I can remember, but only ever resided in a few, so when people ask me where I'm from, I normally say Vancouver. But when people ask me where I live, I should start to say, the moment. This next poem is an ode to my best friend. An ode to my best friend. This is an ode to you. To the girl who brought me tarot cards and witchcraft. Who taught me that there are no colors to avoid in makeup looks. Somehow, you can dance out of your house in heels while I trip in my Converse. I hope you learn how graceful you are, and how delicate you need not pretend to be. This is an ode to every transit ride side by side dares to hop on trains, but I'd run away before you'd get the chance. Before I met you, I didn't know that people could be beautiful to me. I forgot that genuine friendship was a love I am allowed to feel. You're the first shoulder I think I'd let myself get close enough to cry on. I felt uncomfortable having a best friend with this much connection until I saw your face light up on that stage, and that's when I realized that you're nothing like the others. They'd sit in the audience and applaud when I was done reading my 3-minute poems. And they never really understood why I had to write those poems. You know that I write the poems because I can't do anything else with my fucked up stories. You know my history, and you're not like the others because you don't want to repeat the trauma poems inside of me. You want to get on stage and share your poetry, and you inspire me to be better. Taking pages and scribbling on new kinds of memories, you show me that beauty can be clowning around, or breakdowns, or giving space. Having weeks of space dancing around jealousy. A world without you would be like a world with no magic. A world with no second connections and everlasting conversations. I love you, and I'm so grateful to be your best friend. I never knew how much I needed you to make all the shit I've been through feel right. An ode to my best friend. Keep defying what people say. Lilith, you are an icon, my star, my sun. I hope you never fade. I hope that even when you can't see a reason why today would be worse than tomorrow, you stay for tomorrow. And I hope the world will be kind to you. And I know I can't control that, but I hope that if nothing wonderful can come out of the shit you have to go through, at least you'll get a new poem out of it. Yeah, fun fact about that one, her and I actually met at a poetry slam. Um, and then we went to Voices together, and I started writing that poem last year at Voices as well. Um, it's been through a lot of different versions. That's probably like the fifth version of it. So yeah. This next poem, I quick content warning for suicide and sexual abuse. Um, this is a poem about how my mother is just such an amazing human being. And I mentioned some more triggering content. So if you think that that stuff could affect you or bother you, I would suggest not listening to this poem. So, yeah. My mother does not deserve my problems. I notice as she washes off the pepper on my cucumbers when she realizes I don't like it. A gentle reminder that she'd take the extra time to make sure I'm happy any day. My mother could put on a brave face in any situation. At coffee shops, having hard conversations, or pulling me out of school after my weekly hallway panic attacks. I think my mother would kill a man and run a marathon at the same time to make sure my life ends up at least all right. Because she's had nights where she's had to assess every corner of every room for possible escape routes. She raised me knowing that in any situation she can always be my place to escape to. She paints situations from blue-toned grays to sunshine yellows. My mother is the reason that I know I still have a home. My mother and I are learning how to survive in a changing environment. Our relationship is becoming symbiotic. She works miracles because somehow we've made it through every goddamn day. My mother deserves a parade, a statue, and then some, but my mother does not deserve my past. She should never have to see me at my lows again. I remember a conversation a couple years ago we had in her car where I told her I wanted to kill myself. I hope she never has to hear me say those words again. I hope she never has to hold back tears while hugging me and struggling to find the right syllables in the right order to keep her daughter from pressing the self-destruct button. I never want her to have to think about the things that almost caused me to dissolve. But my mother still worries when I spend the night at friends' places. She stays home and doesn't drink a drop so she knows she can come drive to me if need be. Fuck him for ever making her wonder if she was sending me to a safe place. When she heard the news of that night, I think she vowed to find a way to always protect me. When I told her my best friend did those things to me, we couldn't help but cry, and she couldn't help but want to hold me tight so that I would never have to spend another night on a couch balled up, shaking my brains out, wondering if I'd go home the same person I was when I left that morning. I didn't come home the same person I was when I left. And I know my mother tries her hardest to make it all go away. I notice as she washes away the razor blades from my memories. I notice how she washes evenings and drains the sink along with disaster days. I notice how she still cleans up after me, even when my problems weigh us both down. This next poem is technically it's the first out of three. It started off as one long poem, which was like an open letter to two people who I had a situation going on with that wasn't positive. So I wrote an open letter to the two of them. And then I ended up splitting up into three poems and writing an open letter to him, an open letter to her, and an open letter to both of them. So I'm going to be reading the open letter to him and the open letter to both of them. So I'm going to start with open letter to him. An open letter to him. You were supposed to be the boy who could show me love doesn't end badly. You were the band aid I put on the bullet holes left by people who look a lot like yourself. I fell into hope, turned to crush, turned to love before I even knew if I was allowed to call it love. A bit of advice. When you break down the barricades a lonely girl builds in her mind, don't make her question why she didn't keep herself safe enough. It may look like a couple of cardboard boxes and some broken barbed wire, but she put her blood, sweat, and every tear into it. I promise. She's shed more tears than you've shed relationships. Cried more nights away than you've spent looking for rebounds while in romances. Please, do not break into her home and blame her for not double checking each lock on each window. She couldn't protect herself from a criminal, not when he knows where the keys are, because he's the same person who would show up to make sure she was all right. He went from dream guy to nightmare, from invited to intruder. You became an intruder after phone calls turned to texts, turned to I can't do this, turned to me finding out you couldn't do this because you were too busy wanting to do her. Left me blaming myself because you warned me that you had been a cheater before, but you've got this fucked up thing about you that all the boys I've loved have had, where they can turn bad into good, back into bad without you even realizing it. You were supposed to be the boy who could prove them all wrong, the one who would write songs with me and love my poetry, but I didn't end up needing you to prove them wrong. I needed you to give me the hurt that I needed to move on. An open letter to them. You learned to piece me together like a puzzle that's all one color. And you painted me so I could feel pretty. I felt like artwork until you took apart each piece and lit them on fire with your gasoline tears. Front page of a magazine ready. I would cover up my personality with the wrong shade of concealer just to make you please. Figured fake was worth it. My mascara stains highlighted your disdain. I wanted to fit into the picture. Like I could call someone else's portrait mine. Squeeze into the frames of every wrong shape and size just so you would call me photogenic. I was beautiful in all the wrong ways. Loved for who I was not. Knowing not how to be, you watched as I buried a genuine me. The funeral melted into an after party. How could you watch that and say you were proud of me? Detaching myself from you was like uncovering a corpse and bringing it back from the dead, expecting it to dance. I decided to let myself stumble instead. The pain was worth it. No longer squishing my feet into the wrong shoes or letting people paint me new shades of abused. Growing pains are normal over the years, and you no longer own my fears. I promise that you did not destroy me. Because why would I give that much power to people who only liked me when I was painted and pretty? Yeah, so that's all. I hope you guys are enjoying the festival, even though it's virtual this year, which is obviously very different for a lot of us. But yeah, thank you to all the organizers who's figured out how to make this such a great experience, even though we're all at home. So yeah, signing off.
Thank you so much, Erin, for the wonderful words, the wonderful metaphors. Even reading the comments on the Discord, I am filled with so much love. A lot of people quoted the lines that really resonated with them, and I really need to share it. So one person said, I have started eating the watermelon ring." Wonderful. These are some powerful metaphors. I am obsessed with the use of metaphors. The liquid in the snow globe, and two sides of every story. Ours is a book I want to burn. Lots of snaps. Another metaphor that I love is home isn't a place, it's a feeling. Um, and a world without you would be a world without magic. So thank you so much, Erin, for sharing. I knew them from last year and we met for the first time in VoT. And I just looked at them and I was like, you have so much talent. My gosh, I am so proud of you. And I'm so glad that we could connect in this way. So those were our two features for today. Just wanted to do some uh, announcements and then we'll be on our way. So, first off, tomorrow is the first bout on YouTube Live at 1:45 to 2:45 p.m. EST and 10:45 to 11:45 PST. You can find more information on Voices of Today. There on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can find time zones and what bouts everyone is. Also, we'll have the link to the Discord so that if you ever want to talk or if you have any questions, you can send it out. So I want to thank the Ontario Arts Council and the Toronto Arts Council, as well as the Golden Brick Road Publishing, EcoJot, and Living Hyphen. They are wonderful. They have sponsored us, and we won't be here without the wonderful organizers and also the sponsors. So we want to give the space to thank them. I want to thank Heather and Aaron for being our feature for tonight and just giving us nostalgia and all of that good vibes. I also want to thank the volunteers. Our venue captain for today was Chuck. Our SS press person was Brittany. Our active listeners were Ali and Kaz. Our StreamYard tech was Angelica. StreamYard video streamer was Noah. And our live stream watch was Annika. And I guess I'm supposed to say thank you to me for hosting. I just said names, but everybody did such good magic, and I'm really glad to be here. Let's see if there's any more. No. Okay. Well, this is us signing off. See you tomorrow for our bouts and for more features. So thank you very much. Bye bye.